What's up, guys? Welcome to Daily Dose of Reddit. This is your host, Zach, and today's subreddit is r/FatPeopleStories. Alright, so this story is called Ham Things I Stole Her Health. Sorry about this typo, it's making me want to scream, and they mean thanks. I've been lurking this and remembered this stupid thing that happened last summer. I still can't believe it did. It's more stupid racist logic than anything else, but it does include fat logic in it. Anyway, I'm R. I'm Indian, Punjabi, we love our oily food, short and relatively curvy. I know that doesn't really mean anything since the term has been destroyed, but my BMI is 20 and you can see my waist. I, and everyone else but the ham, am 18. This story also includes my cousin, who's also pretty much the same body shape. She's an active volleyball player though, so her muscles are a little more pronounced. Cousin and I are really close. We have Diana, my cousin's best friend. She's white and also plays volleyball with her, and is flat out gorgeous. I've known her for a while. She's really sweet. And then we have the racist ham, who's Diana's cousin. Couldn't pinpoint her age, the fat added years. I live in a place with literally no hams in the United States, but my cousin lives in Alabama. At the end of last summer, before all this crap went down, I flew out to hang out with her for a week. We mostly just chilled, watched Netflix. I hate the weather. Her senior year started right before I left. She told me that she was hanging out with Diana in a nearby Starbucks after the first day of school, and I got my other cousin to drop me off there. When I did arrive, I was surprised to see a ham sitting next to Diana. This girl. Bleached hair, fake tan, and fat. Diana is tall, but racist ham was on the shorter side. I'm horrible at trying to guess weight, but she was able to sit in a chair comfortably. She was wearing a crop top and shorts, and they were very unflattering. But the weather was hell, so whatever. From the get-go, she looked at us strangely, but I didn't think it was a big deal. My cousin and I are Indian, but our features are more Middle Eastern. And yeah, Islamophobia exists, and it is a terrible thing that nobody deserves. That gets us some attention in some places, especially Alabama, but screw it. Racist ham stayed quiet while Diana introduced us. Turned out they were also cousins. Still shuffling in her seat, there weren't any cushy seats open, at least she wasn't entitled about that. The first time she talked, it was to tell Diana to order her some terrible drink. But it was like a venti frappuccino with double whipped cream, 4 packets of Splenda, and triple caramel. It was sort of weird. Also, she wasn't ordering for herself. Kinda odd. But I kinda shrugged it off until she told her to also get her a brownie, a chocolate chip cookie, and 3 cake pops. 3. At this point, I was a little confused, but she hadn't been mean either. I didn't have much experience with hams, so I figured that she must maintain that blob of a figure somehow. Cousin and I got up to get our own sane human drinks too, and we left her there. Diana waited for us at the counter, and when we came back, literally 2 minutes later, racist ham was pouting. She gave us a scathing look and then just turned back and talked to Diana about how she felt so alone sitting there. Okay. Whatever. Anyway, the conversation started, mostly about school and stuff. Cousin got up and grabbed everything when it was ready, including the gigantic death trap and blocks of sugar racist ham ordered. She manages to eat all of it in all of 5 minutes while we were discussing AP classes or something. And then she started chugging her drink. It made me a little sick. Eventually, we started talking about what our parents do. We're all private school kids, and I kinda saw this one coming, because everyone loves shoving how much money they have in each other's faces. Casually mentioned my dad's job in tech. That's when it occurred.
Oh, so your dad's like one of those lame computer guys from India?
He works with computers, but he's a CTO actually. He works at a higher level.
CTO sounds like a made-up position. It stands for Chief Technology Officer, actually. Like my dad's the CEO of...
Insert very prominent company in the area with very large building next to their neighborhood.
Wait, your dad is in charge of...
Blank, pause.
Wow, no wonder.
I have a temper. Her tone is annoying and she keeps slurping that stupid drink. Even Diana looks confused.
What? I get what they're saying about immigrants taking American jobs. Real Americans should have those jobs. You're in their way.
Okay. Do not say anything. Diana looks shocked, and after a second, leans into Racist Ham's ear and whispers something that was, presumably, "What the heck is wrong with you?" But in a nice way. Racist Ham keeps chugging her drink. It is almost done. The rest of us are barely halfway. Then Diana looks at us and gives us an "I'm so sorry" look, and we just smile at her in a way to show that we understand.
That's really not fair. Our parents worked really hard to get here. Whatever. They're still stealing everything from real Americans.
I stare at her for a minute. Isn't the American dream for everyone? Diana looks like she's about to die from embarrassment as Racist Ham starts talking.
It's for people who deserve it. All you brown and yellow people take everything from us. You steal stuff like money and health.
Or something of that variation. I just remember that health was somewhere. Yeah, so she's deranged. Clearly something is wrong with her, but the crap show goes on. One of the other two echoed the word health, and Racist Ham continued her rant, which would soon succumb completely to fat logic.
You know how it's supposed to be. White people are supposed to be skinny, and you brown people are all fat. But then you come in and steal all my health.
She gestures to our very average-sized bodies.
I should be your size.
It wasn't that exact wording, but it was that sentiment. Cousin and I are slightly put-together people, so she gave Diana, who was sitting there glaring at her husband, a light smile and pulled me away. In like a minute, we'd left, completely ignoring Racist Ham's last remarks. We just got into the car and left for her house. We didn't even talk about it. We just looked at each other incredulously. I didn't see Diana again, but she sent me a really apologetic text message, and I just told her it was no biggie. Diana later told Cousin that her cousin has basically never interacted with any other races before and lives pretty much nowhere. She also said that she tried to talk to her about the stupidity of thinking that immigrants stole her thin body, but it didn't really go anywhere. As far as I know, Racist Ham is still out there. Stupid as ever. I've been to Alabama plenty of times, and I usually tell people it isn't that bad. But that was utterly ridiculous. Wow, I kinda knew what to expect, because it tells you, but I didn't expect it to just be that sudden, just right away, just out there. I find a fun way to deal with people that say stuff like this is to ask them to explain it like you have absolutely no idea what they're talking about, and just see how educated they are and see if they can actually explain it and not just regurgitating something they've read on Facebook shared by Aunt Betty Sue and her husband / brother / father Ghibli Doo. Sounds about right. Alright, this story's called "Do Not Correct a Dieting Ham's Fat Logic in Front of Other Hams." Oh boy. I definitely should not have done this for rudeness reasons alone, but here's what happened when I corrected a ham planet's fat logic. This happened 6 or 7 years ago at a work Christmas party. I ended up at a table with 2 close coworkers, and then a couple of fatter coworkers I don't know well, along with their fat spouses. I'm into nutrition and fitness, and in my distant past, I was obese. I learned about calorie counting and was able to lose almost 100 pounds in my early 20s. Then I learned a lot about fitness and nutrition, got active, and significantly improved my fitness levels. So I know a good deal about these topics. Anyway, I'm at the Christmas party, and I've had a couple of drinks. I needed them because my sugar levels were low. Ham number 1 is telling the other hams about her diet, while eating an enormous second plate of buffet food. Understandably, there was no room left for salad after she finished with the pasta bar. She must have done the line backwards. Her diet story is full of fat logic. Like how if she eats too little, she'll go into starvation mode and her body will gain back all the weight at all costs, regardless of what she eats. That's why everybody gets so fat in concentration camps. And how she replaced vegetable oil with avocado oil to lose weight faster. This makes a significant difference when you drink 8 glasses of oil a day per doctor's recommendations, etc. I held my tongue through all of this until she mentioned that she hadn't lost any weight the past month, but she'd been working out, so she probably lost fat, but gained an equal amount of muscle to replace it. I don't know why, but this one just set me off. So I butted in and said something to the effect of, actually, muscle builds really slowly, especially in women. If you're working hard, following a good strength training program, and your nutrition is on point, then you could maybe expect to put on about a pound per month in lean muscle mass. They all went absolutely mixed nuts and started attacking me at once, saying I don't know anything about ham number 1's routine. Maybe she's doing a full body workout 23 times per week. And I don't understand that it's different for different people because of genetics. I suppose ham number 1 could be a genetic miracle with unprecedented capacity for muscle growth, miles beyond what the world's best bodybuilders have ever achieved. And when scientists discover her, it'll completely turn the world's collective knowledge on human biology upside down. And that I'm only in good shape because of my genetics. All my hard work was actually just a fantastic coincidence. I just happened to start paying attention to diet and exercise at the exact moment all my fat cells ruptured for no reason and all my fat just evaporated and billowed out my skin pores. And they also said that fat people gain muscle faster because apparently fat converts into muscle. It's like the first reaction you study in Organic Chemistry 101. And that men lose weight easily, whereas for women, it's nearly impossible. That 100-calorie difference in BMR between men and women is a real killer, y'all. And when I get older like her, my metabolism will slow to a crawl. Guess I'd rather enjoy my next and final 10 years before I inexplicably balloon to 400 pounds, and how I was scrawny and therefore not a real man. Real BMI starts at 25, yo, etc., etc. It was a pretty brutal attack, and while I technically could easily have refuted all their points, I chickened out and decided it was best to excuse myself from the table, which was hard to do because they sort of took on this elite attitude that they destroyed me in a debate or something. My friends came with me, and we had a good chuckle over this later. It didn't end there. The spouse of ham number 1 was not very friendly towards me at work from that point on. Luckily, I didn't have to interact with him much, and he ended up leaving for greener pastures. It's a cow joke. Moo. Of course, looking back, I was a penis to say what I said. But it's super hard not to say anything when somebody butchers a topic you've spent so much time studying. To be fair though, I got where I am today by listening to criticism, especially when it comes from somebody who seems like they might know what they're talking about, and taking the time to do some research instead of immediately getting angry and attacking people. You can't address failures until you're willing to admit they exist. I had to go through the same before I was able to lose my weight successfully. Thanks for listening. Now I must embark on my journey to become a real man. Well, good thing they're pretty buoyant because I'm telling ya, they're straight up living in denial. This story's called Fat People Too Lazy to Walk at Disney World. I just came back from a wonderful week at Disney World. everything went well. Weather was nice, lines weren't unbearably long. There was only one thing that annoyed me to no end. Fat people on scooters. Oh my god. They were everywhere. I mean, hundreds of fat people on scooters. I'm not mad at older people in scooters. I'm not mad at the disabled people using scooters. I'm mad at the people who use scooters just because they're fat. And I know there are invisible disorders that would cause people to use a scooter. That's fine. It's the people that are just fat and lazy. How do I know they're just fat and lazy? Because I saw multiple fat people on scooters magically just get up and walk fast to the food stands, not limping, not struggling to walk to get food. This is what annoyed me. They would stop in the middle of the road on their scooter and hold up traffic of people. They didn't care if you were walking. They would just keep going and make you stop from walking or run you over. Seriously, they didn't care. If you were in their way, they would just honk their little freaking horn. Not say, excuse me, or sorry, or anything. Just honk their horn. Because they were fat and on a scooter, they got to automatically cut the line for rides and go in the front. Even if the line was 200 people, they would automatically go in the front. They took for freaking ever to get on and off of a ride. Then it would hold up the start of the ride, and then make the lines go slower. If you took a bus to the parks, the people on the scooters would go on first. That's fine, whatever, even if you were waiting longer in line than them. It takes 6 seats to fit a freaking scooter on the bus. They have to put the seats up. The bus can only hold X amount of people, and because this fat person is using a scooter, now less people can fit because you're taking 6 seats. These fat people are so entitled. They didn't care that they were in your way. They didn't care that they took longer than everyone else to get on a ride and held up everyone else. They didn't care that they took up at least 6 spots on the bus. Keep in mind that buses come every 15 minutes or so. So if you didn't get on the first one, you have to wait again for another one. And if another freaking scooter comes, they get on before you. Disney really needs to look into this and come up with a better system. Fat people should not get special treatment just because they're freaking fat. Do we really live in a generation that people are too lazy to walk around an amusement park and we're all just supposed to accept this? Honestly, he was pretty specific at who he's targeting here. People just taking scooters just because they're lazy. And just because they're lazy, because knee problems and stuff like that would fall into that category of people that are exempt from their fury. But yeah, that's pretty understandable to get annoyed at. I know the Walmart scooters, those things are fun. Maybe they just want to ride the scooters because they're fun. I remember we'd go to Walmart like late at night when it wasn't very busy, and we'd get on those those scooters and we'd race in the parking lot. It was so much fun. So maybe they're just trying to take a ride to the rides, and you get perks. In fact, you're a chump for not taking advantage of this. I'm joking, don't get mad. Okay, last one's called My Sister Explodes When I Point Out Her Binging at the Expense of Others. My mom and I made meringues to share with the 5 of us. When they were done, my mom, brother, and I had a few. Later, my dad wanted some. But it turned out my sister had eaten everything except one. I pointed out she had left next to nothing for our dad, and she exploded out of anger, threatening to stab me in my sleep. Something similar has happened before. My mom and I went to the supermarket, and amongst other food, we bought candy for our country's equivalent of Halloween, which is at a date still in the future. Later, I discovered my sister had opened the packages of candy and ate most of them, leaving a few behind. When I pointed it out, she got enraged and predicted there were only going to be 5 children at the door anyway. Maybe she's right, but I'd rather eat the candy after the event when we're sure they're actually left over. Ever since she was a child, it was my sister's trademark to eat everything except 1 or 2. So she can claim she hasn't eaten everything and doesn't have to throw away the package. My brother and I can't have candy for ourselves. She'll eat the chocolates of my advent calendar as a tradition. We never have cookies for guests because my sister always eats them except for the last one. My sister claims she's on a diet. Okay, to be fair, pretty much every family has one of these people. I'm one of these people. Okay, to an extent. I make sure I leave plenty for others, but what I usually do is wait until everyone else has some and just eat whatever's left. Because no one can complain. Obviously, she's going a bit too far, getting mad when other people call her out for doing something kind of annoying. So, yeah, she's definitely entitled here. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell to never miss an episode.